All right, so to tell you a little bit about this channel, about why I'm doing it, I was kind of I've been having a really rough few months, mentally creative, specifically creative. And, I was in this funk. I can't figure out like what to create all the time. I was thinking about the things I do want to create, but then not making a video on it, or photography, or if I said I want to go do this thing, go for a walk and explore, then I wouldn't do it. There's all these things that just kept coming up where I'm just like, what is going on with me? And just like couldn't figure out how to break this mold of just not doing things. And it's just been really, really frustrating. And luckily, I've had a few moments and a breakthrough today where I just kind of felt like I was going crazy. I actually thought I was losing my mind. I'm like losing a little bit of reality. And it was like I went for a walk, which was, I think, the key to always breaking through certain problems. If you're ever having some kind of a funk, especially with things in your life, what you want to do, decisions you have to make, basically when you're trying to figure out how to be in charge again, going for walks is key, and journaling too. But I went for this walk and I kind of figured it out. I started asking myself better questions. And one of the questions I asked me, I was like, what the hell do I want to do with my life? What the hell do I want to do in a given day? And then I thought about it, I was like, oh, well, I would really love to like travel and make videos on that. And then it just kept, I'm like, okay, but then why? And really trying to get to the root of the thought. And I was like, because I guess I wanted to tell a story. And I was like, but nobody cares. You don't like I just talking to myself, I'm thinking like, you don't even like things. Like you don't care about anything. You fast forward, skip things. You generally don't care. To myself, I'm like, yeah, that's true. So maybe it's not the stories. But then I had a really good conversation this morning where I was talking to my friend and I was like, actually, I think it's more the talking and the storytelling and collaborating with other people. That's actually what I wanted to do. And I just came to this conclusion by I kept asking myself, why? And instead of it being the surface level thing of like travel and tell stories, it was, why do I want to do this thing that I think that I want to do? And it came down to this idea that I want to communicate and talk and use my camera and not have to really think about things and just, it comes down to communication. That's what I want to do. I want to communicate a story and share. And these videos that you'll be seeing are going to be things that I just want to share. It's going to be its own channel because obviously this is, generally speaking, garbage content for YouTube. It's not going to be fitting in with my main channel. My main channel is going to I'm going to try to keep that high quality. This is literally just about sitting down, talking in front of the camera, no edits really, and just kind of getting some ideas out there and sharing a type of thinking that I think is going to be helpful. Now, I have a podcast. I don't really promote it because this is what the podcast was supposed to be, just kind of like off the cuff stuff. But there's something so disconnected about making a podcast that it wasn't that exciting. I just couldn't keep it going. Maybe I'll turn this into audio that you can throw on the podcast. And because one of the things with why I decided to turn this into YouTube, a video format, is because these are the videos that I actually really love. These are the channels that I actually put on and I consume all their materials, are the ones when somebody's talking to a camera and there isn't a crazy edit. There isn't B-roll. It's just some really, really good insight into something and just a way of thinking that you can tap into, and you can clean your house and just listen to it, do other things, have it on in the background while you're working on things. Those are my favorite YouTube channels. And I've tried making videos like this before, but it just doesn't click with YouTube. So that's why I really want to separate it here. But I'm pretty excited to make this decision to have a new channel, so to speak, where I may or may not dump this stuff. I don't know, but it's intentionally going to be garbage content according to YouTube with no cuts, no nothing. It's just raw, unfiltered, just me and my thoughts. So that's what's going on with this, and that's why I have this. And I really encourage you to go for a walk and ask yourself, like, what is it that you really want to do with your life? If you're confused at all or kind of in this like weird funk, just asking yourself, like, what is it you wish you were doing? And let's say you have a shitty job. You're like, oh, well, just not this job. And you'd be like, okay, so you'd want to dig deeper. That's really the whole thing here, to keep digging the why. Like, okay, so, well, why not? Well, because this job was absolutely obnoxious, or this person is crappy. It's like, okay, so it's the people at your job. And then you'd be like, well, yeah, I guess so. So is it the actual task at your job? Like, maybe that's not the problem. And then maybe you might come to the conclusion that you actually really do like your job, but maybe where you work is really unsatisfactory to what you're looking for. And then it gives you a much better direction in life and in your decision making, just by asking the right whys and just keep digging. It was really a game changer for me today. And it didn't just come down to asking the best why. There's a little bit more to it. It was this other part of it about just being persistent, about like figuring out what the hell is going on with me. Because I could just be like, oh, well, I guess it'll pass. I'm feeling weird. I'm feeling like I'm going crazy. And just living like that and just being like, I don't know what's going on. And having that being like acceptable. But for me, I was like, no, I'm going to figure this out. Oh, maybe today is too tough. Whatever. And then maybe I'm having a good day. And then, maybe going to the gym and then losing weight. And then, bam, back into overeating and so on. This yo-yo lifestyle of just like on, off, on, off. And I'm just like, no, this is so wrong. Like, what is going on? I'm being persistent to figuring out what the hell is happening in my life? What the hell am I doing? And yeah, it's just, I think that's one of my biggest skill sets that I've learned is persistence to solution. And, you can watch all the YouTube videos, all the personal development books. You can listen to things, you can do, but these things I actually think are in the way. Like this video hopefully inspires you to, just cut out watching the videos for a minute. Put on some like classical music or lo-fi hip hop or something. Go for a walk. Maybe no music for a walk. I don't know. Just nothing with words. Just put on something just like droning and beautiful. And just like stare out the window. Go to the beach. Just sit there and just be like, what the hell is going on with me? And what the hell do I want next? Because I'm telling you, it's going to catch up. If you don't know where you're going, you're going to be taken somewhere where you don't want to be. You got to be in control. And if you don't know, it's time to start figuring it out. Because, for me, it takes a long time. And not everybody's the same, of course. That's the thing. It's very important. When you're seeing videos and people talking about their experiences and how they've overcome things or personal development, it's like, yeah, that works for them, but that's not you. Like, you can't accept anybody else's thinking as yours. Like, stop copying how people do it. Take what they have to say, and if it resonates, then it actually seems like something that, or they sound like you too, then it lines up. But like, if somebody's telling you to wake up early or go to the gym or whatever, like maybe that's just not your thing. And just be like, yeah, no, I don't care about that. And just like kind of figure out what the hell it is that you want. And, here's the key is having stimulus is going to completely ruin you figuring this out. Like the music is there to wash away stimulus from the outside, like other sounds, like a refrigerator or whatever. That's why I say the music. But really, if you can just be in a quiet place with like friggin' waves crashing or just your car, just muffled like ocean sounds or something, the whole thing is this distracting other things coming in. We're going on TikTok or Instagram, that's a stimulus. YouTube videos, oh, gonna, gotta research this before I do anything, gotta look into this. But like, no, you can just go into it and figure out what you want. And that's one of the hardest things in life, just figuring out what you want. And it's no easy feat. But for me, one of the things I'm really excited about, and what this is that I just want to communicate, tell my story a little bit better. The part of the story that's not really structured and it's just very off the cuff, and little things about my day, little things that aren't worth making a video about. Like I love just being able to talk about, I have a Nintendo Switch. I kind of like lost my love for Nintendo Switch. But there was this one video game that I was really in love with. It's called Journey, and it was for PlayStation 2 or something. The game was one of the best game I've ever played, I think. I'm pretty sure, if it's not the top game I've ever played, but one of the top. And the creators of that game had this guy, Austin Wintory, who made the soundtrack for Journey. And he also made the soundtrack for Abzu, this other game, which I've never played. I just listened to the soundtrack. It just was completely enthralled by this man's music. Like, it's so good. I've been listening to it so much, probably more than I think much of the albums that I listened to. It's Austin Wintory's Journey and Abzu. But I, for some reason, never thought that Abzu was ever available. So I got it on Switch just recently, and man, it's so much like Journey, and I'm like, yes, I'm finding a new game that's absolutely amazing, relaxing. I can pick it up, put it down, doesn't interfere with my life. It's not like I'm a gamer. This is just such an extra chill out for 5 to 10 minutes max. Play a little bit of Switch, then go back to my life. Just be able to rant on something like that is really what I want to do, and kind of maybe make this a daily, almost daily thing. I'm not really sure how often, maybe just whenever I have a thought that I want to communicate. There's going to be nothing structured about this. I will try to be deliberate make it like somewhat tolerable. But yeah, if you stuck around this long, I hope that you're going to enjoy this. But also, if you found this, nice work. But that's all for today. I'm very, very excited to just be able to be very raw, because I think that's one of the, lastly, one thing is that I think one of the biggest things that big creators and creators in general are missing out on is a very raw format. Everything's edited because that's what does better. People think that they like it. But honestly, I think that we're really, really lacking in a lot of like uncut, raw, unedited, uncolor graded, just pure content. And that's kind of what I want this to be. Just be like, just whatever, good and bad, ums and ahs and hiccups and everything. So that's kind of what I want this to be. I think the world really needs it. I hope other people will also, because that's what I like. So yeah, not much else to say about it now. Till next time. Cheers.